Stay frosty and check out redzonecoins.com for the cheapest, fastest coins on the market. Use code DIRECTOR at checkout for 10% off. Yo, what up, brothers? What's up? It's the Director. Now, Madden Ultimate Team fans, there's something happening. There's something happening in the Maddenverse right now. Take a look at Twitter. Our boy, it's Dom YouTube, started a hashtag Fix Madden card art today, and I think it has a lot to do with what we saw earlier today dropped by Madden Ultimate Team, or I should say Madden 21. We got these fire new card arts displaying the X factors for Madden 21, and what I wanted to do was create my own kind of spin on it, try and see if this new formula, this new design format would work in Madden 21 Ultimate Team as the official card art. So I whipped up some custom card art. Actually, let me give you guys a little sneak peek here before we get going. There's one of Christian McCaffrey, kind of using the same design as these new ones here. Obviously, taking a little bit of a step back from just the comic book kind of style, but we'll get to that in just a second. Guys, before we get started, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Madden Ultimate Team content. Some Photoshop work went into this one, so it'd be highly appreciated. Let's get into this video. All right, dudes. Madden 21, so the official account today. Let's take a look at some of these cards that they took out. So in their effort to promote the new X factors, or I should say displaying, who's getting what X factors, they put out this new card art that you can find on their Twitter. You can also find it on their website. Honestly, this is pretty neat. Like, by far, this is some of the coolest card art that I've seen come out of the Madden 21, like ads and stuff like that, promotions, in quite some time. And obviously, they're not going to be able to do something like this all the time. You've got a comic book kind of feel to it, a design. You had an illustrator come in and actually hand draw these guys to look like comic book characters, which are really cool. So we got Tom Brady here, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and what they're just featuring in this. So obviously, there's design elements in this just to feature the X factor. So down here you'll see the Pro Reads logo. You'll see Pro Reads up here, kind of like a comic book kind of style format with their name and team right there. Take a look at another guy right here, Drew Brees, also with the Pro Reads. They've got this really cool ring around him, just kind of signifying that they can kind of see the Matrix, you know what I mean? This is why they're getting this X factor, and once again, hand drawn. Let's take a look at a couple of these other guys up here. Let's do Lamar Jackson first, and this is kind of the reveal of the new ability called Truz. So let's go back in here real quick. Truz, basically you're not able to fumble with Lamar Jackson once he gets this activated. So it's kind of neat, it's kind of cool. I really like the design they put into this stuff. Very comic book-esque, very 2D. You can see a lot of work went into the actual illustrations, of the players and of the backgrounds. Looks really, really clean. Patrick Mahomes with Bazooka, Russell Wilson with Blitz Radar, and we got Aaron Rodgers with Gambler. These are all very, very, very cool. Now, what I'm thinking is that these images here that we saw today in promotion of the X Factors did spark this new hashtag of Fix Madden card art by It's Dom. All right, and you'll see it's kind of trendy. It's kind of up there. People are saying, we want to fix Madden card art. It doesn't look great right now because this is kind of what we have at the time being. This is what we know that we have right now. And as I've stated several times in previous videos, I do not like this. I've also stated that maybe there's a chance that it animates, like it opens up or something, but this is really odd and strange, specifically considering how good the card art's been in the past couple of years. It really, as in a design element kind of standpoint, having the player pushed all over the way to the left and then having so much dead space on the right is really kind of a turnoff when it comes to the graphic presentation of these cards, okay? A lot of people will spend money on a card if it looks cool. I think that's part of the reason why they started introducing the ability to change the card art within the game using training points. Some guys really like the way these cards are designed. And some of my favorite in the year being like, stuff we saw here with Madden. This reminds me a lot of the MUT Heroes promo where it's in a comic book. They have some illustrations around them. Honestly, in the MUT Heroes promo, it does seem like they take an image of the player and make it look like it's in a comic book rather than hand draw something. And that's kind of the point I want to get to with these images here. The hand-drawn element of what we're seeing here is likely not viable within Madden Ultimate Team just because of how much time would go into every single player item. So doing something custom, you know, a hand-drawn illustration, maybe for certain promos like MUT heroes, maybe just like the heroes of those MUT heroes could actually work. We could probably see that happen. You know, and the artist down here, we will credit him, Conrad Javier. Very, very, very good work. All right. But more likely what's going to happen if we decide to use this template is that we're going to see something like we've seen in the past with a really cool background, with the player in the foreground, taking up most of the space in the card. But it will probably be more of a real life element kind of look to it. The point of this video that I'm trying to get across is, can this template right here work? When I say template, I mean design. The border of the card. Very well done, in my opinion. It marries the elements of what we've seen in the past with Madden Ultimate Team, this futuristic kind of border, and it brings it back to a simpler, you know, just a square kind of rectangle and more of a card kind of format. Because what we've seen in the past is more kind of like this futuristic kind of display. I like the simplicity of just having this card shape and having the player take up most of that, because you don't need all of this information over here. You don't need all of this space to display that. Okay, so like I said at the top of the video, I did put together some custom cards in an effort to try and show that this format can work. This formula we're seeing right here, it can work, and it can work very, very well. Let's take a look at the first card I put together here, Christian McCaffrey. All right, very simple, and it's something very familiar that from what we've seen. The only thing I added here was on the top right, putting their archetype in there and showing that it is an upgradable card. And then maybe you can like duplicate what I put there for the upgrade symbol, put another one underneath it to show the chemistries or something like that. The point in this design is to show that not a lot of space needs to be taken up in order to give the player the information of what this card contains. The archetype, he's one of those like support running backs. You know, he's really good in the passing game. That's all the space that you need to dedicate to show that. The power-up, that's all the space you need to dedicate to display that this is a power-up item. I decided, instead of putting their X factor down here, because obviously you can put different X factors in Madden Ultimate Team, just to put their overall. Christian McCaffrey, one of the better, I would say the best running back in the league right now, 88 overall, very appropriate. Christian McCaffrey, the name, the team that he comes from, and then down here in the very bottom is going to be the promo that it's coming from. So in this case, Core Elite, some of the first cards in the game. Take a look at the next one. And I did a little bit different, you know, something a little bit different with every card, just to kind of flex what, you know, the possibilities are, the different kinds of things that you can do within these card designs. Larry Fitzgerald decided to go with a very simple, smooth, smoky background, put a little bit of smoke in the foreground, and then once again, the information needed to display this card, very simple. Possession wide receiver, name, team, overall, Core Elite. And then obviously you're going to have to add some other elements somewhere on the card, probably over here on this left side, or even over here on the right side, depending on how they design it, to display the chemistries. Maybe put LTD somewhere like on the outer border of the card if it is a special item. Okay. Next up, we got Keenan Allen. I had a little bit more fun with this one. I say if you've got a player coming from a team that has a name like the Chargers, you know, it's very easy to say, oh my God, throw some lightning in there. That would be pretty cool. Decided to throw a little bit of a filter on there, just make it a little bit more comic book. I don't know if I love it as much now that I'm having it, you know, displayed on the video, but it's there. And then I wrapped some lightning around him in certain elements, specifically around the ball and then around his left arm or his right arm. Very cool. And once again, I'm not taking up a lot of space to describe what the card does, where it is, you know, the functionality of it. 86 overall, he's a slot receiver. Very cool. Minkah Fitzpatrick, another really cool one. Okay, you guys can probably find this on Twitter by now. I probably posted all these by the time the video comes out. Very cool. You know, I decided to take, you know, the kind of a steel element texture on a very simple background, just to kind of signify, you know, who this player is, where he comes from. He's the Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Thus, we put just a very simple steel texture over top the background. A little bit over top the player, too. Next up, Raheem Mostert. You know, the 49ers, those guys out there mining for gold. Put a little bit of a gold texture over the background, a little bit of gold texture over certain parts of the player. Very, very simple. But what we're trying to display here is the functionality of this format, the functionality of the template that these guys put together to display the new X Factor information. This one's probably my favorite one, Todd Gurley. Decided to go a little bit more Hollywood with this one. Probably the one you guys are going to see on the thumbnail of this video. Todd Gurley, I wanted it to look like he's coming out of the tunnel. You got those flames and stuff going around. I put a little bit of flames in the visor. Very cool, you know, contrast right here. No comic book elements, but very cool, very, very dramatic effect over Todd Gurley. I think people would love this, man. Travis Kelce, a little bit more of a distressed look. You feel me? Just kind of, you know, it's, I don't know. They all have different elements that I like about them. This one's probably my favorite. It's clean. It's cinematic. Very cool. So the point of this video is to kind of get some traction going behind this hashtag Fix Madden card art. We've seen it, you know, Fix Madden card art has been kind of trending, or I should say Fix franchise mode has been kind of trending. And now the Ultimate Team players want to make sure that their cards are represented because a lot of people put a lot of stake in just how these cards look. These cards cost money, cost time, cost coins, cost effort. We want to make sure they look cool. So in an effort to do that, I decided to go ahead and design my own. Make them look kind of snazzy, kind of cool. Maybe get some traction behind this Fix Madden card art. In the comment section below, what do you guys think of this card art? Do you think it could work? Do you think the format could work? You know, the very simple usage of space here on Todd Gurley, just so we can see the epicness of the player itself taking up most of the card. Do you guys like this? And if you do, make sure to head on over to Twitter and retweet this. I'll put a link in it in the description so you guys can find it. Retweet it. Maybe we can get some traction to fixing the card art. Is it gonna happen? I don't know, dudes. You know, when it comes to video game development, I know a lot of time and effort's already happened. It's already been put in to making the card art what they are now. And to change the entire game, you know, the entire design of the cards from the ground up may be too big of a task for EA to accomplish. But I would say I would spend hella dollars on this Todd Gurley versus hella dollars on this Joe Burrow. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. Hashtag Fix Madden card art is underway, and let's see if we can make a difference in the new Madden Ultimate Team for Madden 21. Guys, thank you for joining me. This has been The Director. We'll see you next time, and as always, hit the like and sub if you did enjoy this content. We'll see you next time. Stay frosty.